Through my heart's palace, thoughts unnumbered throng, and there, most quiet and, as a child, most wise, high-throned you sit, and gracious. All day long, great hopes gold-armoured, jester fantasies, and pilgrim dreams, and little beggar sighs, bow to your benediction, go their way. And the grave-jewelled courtier memories worship and love and tend you all the day. But when I sleep and all my thoughts go straying, when the high session of the day is ended and darkness comes, then with the waning light, by lilied maidens on your way attended, proud from the wonted throne, superbly swaying, you, like a queen, pass out into the night.
Oh, in the depths of midnight, what fancies haunt the brain, when even the sigh of the sleeper sounds like a sob of pain. A sense of awe and wonder I may never well define, for the thoughts that come in the shadows never come in the shine. The old clock down in the parlor like a sleepless mourner grieves, and the seconds drip in the silence as the rain drips from the eaves. And I think of the hands that signal the hours there in the gloom, and wonder what angel watchers wait in a darkened room. And I think of the smiling faces that used to watch and wait, till the click of the clock was answered by the click of the opening gate. They are not there now in the evening, morning, or noon, not there. Yet I know they keep their vigil and wait for me somewhere.
My lamp is out, my task is done, and up the stair with lingering feet I climb. The staircase clock strikes 1. Good night, my love. Good night, my sweet. My solitary room I gain. A single star makes incomplete the blackness of the window pane. Good night, my love. Good night, my sweet. Dim and more dim its sparkle grows, and ere my head the pillows meet, my lids are fain themselves to close. Good night, my love. Good night, my sweet. My lips no other words can say, but still they murmur and repeat to you who slumber far away. Good night, my love. Good night, my sweet.
The night is freezing fast. Tomorrow comes December, and winter falls of old are with me from the past. And chiefly I remember how Dick would hate the cold. Fall, winter, fall, for he, prompt hand and headpiece clever, has woven a winter robe and made of earth and sea his overcoat forever, and wears the turning globe.
The winds are piping loud tonight, and the waves roll strong and high. God pity the watchful mariner who toils neath yonder sky. I saw the vessel speed away with a free, majestic sweep. At evening, as the sun went down to his palace in the deep, an aged crone sat on the beach and pointed to the ship. She'll never return again, she said, with scorn upon her lip. The morning rose tempestuous, the winds blew to the shore. There were corpses on the sands that morn, but the ship came nevermore.
I departed in the darkness, with the pains of love oppressed. Happy lot, for none observed me. All my house was then at rest. By the ladder that is secret, in the darkness on I pressed. Through the night, disguised in safety, all my house was then at rest. Unobserved and unobserving, in the silent blissful night, and in my heart the fire burning was my only guide and light. To the place where he was waiting, safely guided on the way. On I went, the light was brighter than the sunshine of midday. Night that led to my beloved, guide and light upon the way, and made us one. Night more lovely than the dawn of coming day. On my breast with flowers covered, which for him alone I kept, I caressed him, and the cedars, waving, fanned him while he slept. When his tresses were disordered by the motion of the air, then I fainted, and he struck me with his hand so soft and fair. Self-forgetting, there I rested, on my love reclined my head, all anxieties discarded, mid the lilies round me spread. The dark night. This cloud of darkness is light divine, strong, beautiful, pure, inaccessible, delightful, intimate, being the sight of God, and Him alone, which to enjoy reaches the soul with love all set afire, becoming blind, beholding naught, the essence is transcended and attained. When victory is won over the kingdom that was held by self, she setteth forth unseen by all unnoticed, searching to find her God, by Him inflamed. In this departure, the soul goes out from self and takes her flight. Seeking her life, she rises to the imperial heaven, casting the veil from off her secret depths. Though sallying forth, incited by the mastery of her love, yet in herself she holds him, being engaged enjoying o'er her good, to him united. She rests in peace. All images have disappeared, the intellect grown blind, the passions quelled, the powers perforce suspended. Her glory and her bliss were duly reached by stairs in safety scaled, divine the way, formed by Christ's mysteries. Now, having reached the longed-for end, resting in her beloved, she holds a ceaseless motion, being at peace and fully satisfied. That night serene, in which her life and depths enjoy her God, freed from all pain, she searches long and ardently within herself, and with desire goes forth to meet Him. Love leads the way throughout the dense dark cloud, and with no other teacher she safely journeys to where God doth reveal to her His beauty. On her trackless path, bereft of intellect and memory, the King divine doth manifest His might and glory, as far as may be in this mortal life. O crystal night, led by thy lovely glamour, in union divine, the bridegroom and the bride are now but one. While the soul rejoices over the eternal word, a gentle wind, stirred by God's Holy Spirit, delights her very center. Alone, they joy together, in a fair meadow by a wall enclosed, while fragrant odors scent the air serene, making it like no other earthly spot. The King, in whom she lives, in puissant power hath robbed her of herself, receiving her as inmate of his palace, holds her bereft entirely of herself. So great the strength and force of him to whom she is united, so weak is she, that yielding up herself to him, she loses her own existence, being one with him. O sweet dark night, O sweet dark night, which brings no gloomy shades, but rather thine obscurity, the more it blinds, the more it delights the soul, and grows in beauty as it grows more dense. Divine privations, blessed darkness, pleasant rest, and secret inspirations. Happy the soul made blind by such refulgence, fortunate exchange. Denying self, that it may not deny the one who ne'er denies, it enters the delicious gulf of that blind night, where they who enter find a vivid light. In the hidden depths of this resplendent darkness, illumined by the sun which dwelleth in her, night is made radiant day. O night of happiness, which offers joy in such security to the enamored soul, that she in slumber rests, and day seems night to her. To reach this rest, she mounted by the secret hidden stairs, when in unconsciousness she on her summit slept, the rays of life fell on her. That ladder of repose, the beauteous mysteries of Christ, that lovely path, trod by his well-loved sons, wherein 1,000 treasures are discovered. She soars aloft by flight, having 2 lovely wings, yet, once arrived, their delicate plumes are scorched. There she in peace enjoys the secret rays that stream from the beloved, and all her house and its inhabitants are fallen asleep. Powerless and free from care, in drowsy rest, the dwellers in her mansions leave her free. The bridegroom opes and enters, yet when they are aroused, they murmur at their quick awakening. They enjoy his favors in solitude, beholding not the spouse, for still these dwellers are lost in slumber, nor do they make the slightest sound. Then the gentle bride, transformed and turned to her beloved, lives and reposes in him, and draws from him her life, since her own life has been consumed. While in this state has she repose, joy, life, and nourishment, but on returning to her former life, she weeps, because death lingers on its way. Yet, having wept, her graces still augmenting with her tears, her trials no longer grieve her, for on suffering she centers all her aims and all her love. Light in darkness, and darkness which withdraws not in the light. Distinctness in the mist. The mist is manifest in light in this abyss, and is not swallowed up. For shade is set o'er light divine by God's essence and presence. Thus, seen through clouds, by aid he gives in secret, the soul can, while on earth, enjoy his presence.
Lo, in the painted oriel of the west, who pains the sunken sun in carnadines, like a fair lady at her casement shines, the evening star, the star of love and rest. And then anon she doth herself divest of all her radiant garments, and reclines behind the sombre screen of yonder pines, with slumber and soft dreams of love oppressed. O my beloved, my sweet Hesperus, my morning and my evening star of love, my best and gentlest lady, even thus, as that fair planet in the sky above, dost thou retire unto thy rest at night, and from thy darkened window fades the light.
When on war's wounded falls the final sleep, how beautiful shall silence be to those on whom till then the sounds of carnage close, and trampling billows of the conflict sweep. A camp unsentineled that host shall keep, nor countersign reveal its friends and foes. And in that zone of death shall be repose, more kind than love, and than the dark, more deep. But now unceasing thunders tread the night, mid flamings and cessations of the light, and the faint sense delays ere death to hark the bellowing of guns against the sky. And as the decimating cannon cry, the mangled horses screaming in the dark, Europe, how have kings dealt with thee, and sown thine every acre from a human breast? Red was the seed, and red the harrow pressed to bitter fields, whose harvest was a moan. And the long years pass on to the unknown, and cannon utter now thy lord's unrest, where still their armies gather for the test, and heavy darkness holds about the throne. And shall they sow forever in this wise, to reap that corn whose roots take hold on hell? Better a desert and the sunlight there, in which the lions gaze with stony eyes from nameless ruins where the lizards dwell, and the small hawk floats lonely on the air.
On moonlit heath and lonesome bank, the sheep beside me graze, and yon the gallows used to clank fast by the four crossways. A careless shepherd once would keep the flocks by moonlight there, and high amongst the glimmering sheep the dead man stood on air. They hang us now in Shrewsbury jail, the whistles blow forlorn, and trains all night groan on the rail to men that die at morn. There sleeps in Shrewsbury jail tonight, or wakes, as may betide, a better lad, if things went right, than most that sleep outside. And naked to the hangman's noose the morning clocks will ring, a neck God made for other use than strangling in a string. And sharp the link of life will snap, and dead on air will stand heels that held up as straight a chap as treads upon the land. So here I'll watch the night and wait to see the morning shine, when he will hear the stroke of 8 and not the stroke of 9, and wish my friend as sound asleep as lads I did not know, that shepherded the moonlit sheep 100 years ago.
You and I, and that night, with its perfume and glory, the scent of the locusts, the light of the moon, and the violin weaving the waltzers a story, and meshing their feet in the weft of the tune, till their shadows uncertain reeled round on the curtain, while under the trellis we drank in the June. Soaked through with the midnight the cedars were sleeping, their shadowy tresses outlined in the bright crystal, moon-smitten mists, where the fountain's heart, leaping forever, forever burst, full with delight, and its lisp on my spirit fell faint as that near it whose love like a lily bloomed out in the night. Oh, your glove was an odorous sachet of blisses. The breath of your fan was a breeze from Cathay, and the rose at your throat was a nest of spilled kisses. And the music, in fancy I hear it today as I sit here, confessing our secret and blessing my rival who found us and waltzed you away.
Night. 'Tis night, when meditation bids us feel we once have loved, though love is at an end. The heart, lone mourner of its baffled zeal, though friendless now, will dream it had a friend, who with the weight of years would wish to bend. When youth itself survives young love and joy, alas, when mingling souls forget to blend, death hath but little left him to destroy. Ah, happy years, once more who would not be a boy, thus bending over the vessel's laving side to gaze on Dian's wave-reflected sphere, the soul forgets her schemes of hope and pride, and flies unconscious o'er each backward year. None are so desolate but something dear dearer than self, possesses or possessed a thought, and claims the homage of a tear, a flashing pang, of which the weary breast would still, albeit in vain, the heavy heart divest. To sit on rocks, to muse o'er flood and fell, to slowly trace the forest shady scene, where things that own not man's dominion dwell, and mortal foot hath ne'er or rarely been, to climb the trackless mounting all unseen, with the wild flock that never needs a fold, alone o'er steeps and foaming falls to lean. This is not solitude, 'tis but to hold converse with nature's charms, and view her stores unrolled. But midst the crowd, the hum, the shock of men, to hear, to see, to feel, and to possess, and roam along the world's tired denizen, with none who bless us, none whom we can bless, minions of splendor shrinking from distress, none that, with kindred consciousness endued, if we were not, would seem to smile the less of all that flattered, followed, sought, and sued. This is to be alone. This is solitude.
All out of doors looked darkly in at him through the thin frost, almost in separate stars that gathers on the pane in empty rooms. What kept his eyes from giving back the gaze was the lamp tilted near them in his hand. What kept him from remembering what it was that brought him to that creaking room was age. He stood with barrels round him, at a loss. And having scared the cellar under him in clomping there, he scared it once again in clomping off, and scared the outer night, which has its sounds, familiar, like the roar of trees and crack of branches, common things, but nothing so like beating on a box. A light he was to no one but himself, where now he sat, concerned with he knew what, a quiet light, and then not even that. He consigned to the moon, such as she was, so late arising, to the broken moon, as better than the sun in any case for such a charge, his snow upon the roof, his icicles along the wall to keep, and slept. The log that shifted with a jolt once in the stove disturbed him, and he shifted and eased his heavy breathing, but still slept. One aged man, one man, can't fill a house, a farm, a countryside, or if he can, it's thus he does it of a winter night.